Right, well, hi, thanks for talking to me. I appreciate it. I very much enjoyed the movie. I watched it last week. So to start out, for people who haven't seen it, why don't you sort of talk a bit about your character?
Yeah, Mike is sort of this drug dealer in Brooklyn, and he's trying to find a way to escape, and he's just making a lot of wrong turns, a lot of poor decisions, and he's just kind of getting dragged through it the whole time. Um, yeah, and it's just poor decision after poor decision, and watch this guy get tortured.
What is because I'm not sure what you would do for this, but what is the preparation like for a role like this? Because obviously you at least have to kind of get into that mindset. So what was that part like for you?
Um, well, it was meeting with Phil Beloka, the writer director. It was semi-autobiographical, is what I gathered. Like a lot of these scenes were based off of experiences that he went through, and so that was pretty helpful. And that was sort of my entry point was Phil. Uh, he was a great consultant, a great reference. And then once you get enough of those stories, you can kind of form your own character. And yeah, it was just like little layers, little details, and then you got Mike.
Right. What part did you find easy to connect with of your own? Like, is there any part of yourself that you saw in him or him that you saw in you? Because he's kind of a very dark character.
Yeah, and I think Phil wanted to use Mike as a device to sort of uh, be repelled by this world, like someone like he wanted me to be uncomfortable, and I tried to do that, but I also wanted to show why he's part of this world, and maybe he part of him kind of likes it. So there was like that balance where we would do one take where I would be totally uncomfortable with the violence happening in front of me, and then we would do a take where I'm like just
Completely into it. Yeah.
love it. Yeah, and I'm interested to see how he sort of split the difference or not. But yeah, it was fun. I didn't want to be too uncomfortable the whole time because that's like pretty one note, and that was my concern. Like I don't want to. I would like to layer this guy a little bit. So yeah.
Right. What was it though about the script or the character that really made you think that you had to do it in the beginning?
Um, yeah, it was selfishly it was the character of Mike. I mean, I love the story as a whole, but after I read it once, I'm just like, okay, let's just this is Mike's story. What's Mike's story? And he's just he's just making all the wrong choices the whole time. He just can't help but fail. Uh, and even the moment you see him, it's written all over him. He put a leather cowboy hat on his head before you meet him. It's just like bad decision. Like his wardrobe is a bad decision. So I thought that was kind of interesting that just this guy is just blowing it. This guy's just messing up the whole time. Uh, and he's kind of embarrassing. And I was looking forward to being embarrassing.
That's interesting. I hadn't thought about it that way about him being embarrassing, but you're right. Does something though, you mentioned the hat, does something like that, does it make a big difference to you in making your character choices, having kind of a piece of costume or something to kind of latch onto?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, maybe not great to admit that, but yeah, like it's or like I've done a film where I had to wear like a wig, and like it's hard to sort of get into it, and then once you put the wig on, you kind of get lost in it. Um, so yeah, I think the tight leather pants and the leather hat and stuff like it's sort of all helped to lose myself in this guy, and I before I started, I knew this is like this whole outfit is embarrassing. This whole guy is kind of embarrassing, but we're committing to it, and we think it's cool now. So you got to think this is cool now. So to kind of try to live in it and walk in a cowboy hat and think you're the man, this seemed like a challenge because it's just once you take a step back, you're like, God, this is silly.
Other than that, what else about this did you find to be a challenge? Was there anything that stood out that you kind of had difficulty with besides that?
um, No, no, it wasn't too difficult. What was cool about it was I have so many different scene partners in this. You know, um, Lorraine Burroughs, great actor, and you know, there's just all these different characters that I have these run-ins with. You know, maybe they have one scene or one or two scenes with me, but I get to sort of go through this journey and meet all of these different characters and work with all these different actors who have different approaches. And it was just really helpful to for me selfishly as an actor to see how people approach their work. And yeah, so like the more actors you can work with, the better you're going to be for it. And I got to work with tons of actors here, so it was yeah, I think it was really beneficial for me just as an actor.
Can you talk specifically, I was going to say about working with Alex and Zach, because you had the most scenes with them.
Yeah, yeah. Alex has always been, you know, we've been doing both been doing it since we were kids, so kind of like been circling each other a little bit over the years, but never really worked together, never met. And then once we finally did, it was like it really it really worked. Like I said, I got to work with all these different actors, all these different approaches, and they were all like interesting in their own way. And but with Alex, it felt like immediately felt lived in. Uh, there's just something about working with someone who's been doing it for so long where it just seems like effortless. And it's not. And puts we all you know hopefully put a lot of effort into it, but he just does it. It doesn't seem like he's thinking too much or anything. He's just doing it, and it just works. And yeah, with Alex, it felt really just lived in right away, and it's cool to even off camera just have discussions with someone who's been doing it as long as you've been doing it. And, we have a lot to we could relate on many levels.
Do you still, having done it since you were so little, I mean, do you still like feel like you're learning new things each time you take on a project?
Yeah, absolutely. Always learning new things, and I'm always you're always nervous before you go in, or you should be. I think I don't want to feel totally comfortable with what I'm about to do. I want to be confident. I I want to I want to show off. I want to obviously I want the respect of my peers. And I want to express myself and all that, but I want to show off. I want to do good. I want people to think that was interesting. So yeah, I think it's good to be sort of nervous for every role. And I worked with Jackie Earl Haley almost a year ago now, and he was saying, he's been doing it since the '60s, and he was saying he gets nervous before every project, and that was just so reassuring for me. I was like, me too. He's like, you need that. You need that. That means you care. It means you give a shit. So yeah, I think even if what I learned is that it's good to stay nervous. Yeah, you're always learning.
This is, I guess, an odd question, but just because I know you have been doing it since you were little, do you feel like you approach it a lot different now? Not just like as an older person, but different than you used to the longer that you were, in the business, just kind of how you approach everything. That makes sense.
Yeah, no, it totally makes sense. And I think there's a difference between being nervous and timid. You don't want to be overwhelmed by the work or the set or another actor.
Mhm.
Uh, you you want to care and you want to be nervous that you're going to do well, but you can't be overwhelmed. So I guess I've caught myself in the past a scene or two here, like, oh, I can kind of tell, not in 5 pounds, but like in other projects that
Yeah.
I could tell I let the moment get to me here. I didn't settle in. I could see I'm not settled in. So yeah, I think stay nervous, but be confident and relax. It's
I
all
was
good.
gonna say
Yeah,
nervous, but not too nervous, right?
yeah, right. It's a
Do you
balance.
have a favorite scene from this that you can talk about that won't spoil it too much? Just kind of a
Yeah, there's an actor named Gary McDonald. He played ER, the sort of the kingpin in the
mm,
strip club, and I approach him. It's the scene after, so I ask him for a loan, and then I lose
yeah.
it, and then I come back, and I'm kind of asking for forgiveness. And the way Gary played it, he was just so calm. He was like, "Oh, it's no problem," and like I wasn't expecting that on the day. And I remember we were rehearsing it, we were blocking it. It was just the director and the cinematographer and the actors. And I remember he's like, "Oh, it's no problem." it's fine. And her being like so uneasy, and then
Yeah, because
we're
sometimes
doing the
calm
lines.
isn't necessarily the good thing. It means
Yeah,
something else is going on, right?
yeah, right. And then I was like, oh, thanks, man. See, I thought you were gonna be mad or whatever the line is, and then he just starts laughing. And I remember he started laughing, and then the other actors, the henchmen, like started laughing too. In the moment, I was, oh, I guess we're laughing. I guess we're laughing. And I saw the cinematographer kind of get excited, and that's always a good sign. It means you're doing something right, and you see the crew like get excited for the work we're doing. And yeah, and that was so cool. And then I think it translated to the screen that it's so uneasy that we're all laughing together. But I'm pretty sure they're gonna hurt me. There's 1% chance that they mean it, but I'm pretty sure they're gonna hurt me. And I just love the layers of we're kind of putting on a show for each other. We're cool, right? No, you're gonna hurt me, huh? And but I'm still laughing. And I just thought that was such a cool combination.
Yeah, it was. And I think I was just gonna say, I think too, you change how you feel about him over the course of the movie. Because you definitely feel more, I guess, empathetic as the story goes on, I guess. So
Yeah.
we're out of time. But thank you. I appreciate it. Like I said, I enjoyed the film. So thank you very much for your time.
Well, thank you so much.
Have a good rest of your day.
You too.
Bye bye.